Hey guys, welcome back. It's March 1st and I can't believe time is just flying by so quickly. So it's time for a bloom update and I'm going to show you all around my collection. I didn't do a great job of recording everything, but I saved a couple of special orchids for the very end. But I'll take you through shelf by shelf and show you what's been going on in my collection. It's severely overgrown, so I'll be repotting very soon. But let's start with my Hoyas. I love my Hoyas, but they've been blooming. So that's my Croniana Super Silver back there. And they just leave such a mess. Once they flower, those flowers are highly fragrant and they rebloom from the same peduncles, but it leaves a huge mess. So I have to at some point revine some of those, put them on the trellises, clean up those old blooms, but I'm really happy with my Hoya collection. This here is the Lacunosa Ruby Sue, and this one has bloomed already a couple of times. This I got it as a small cutting over the summer, and it's really taken off. I'm very happy with my Hoyas. Now I have two Hoya Matildes. This one I got over a year ago and it's been very slow. And this other one, it started with like two leaves and it's growing much faster. So I think that's interesting. I have one in Leca and I have one just in like a regular succulent mix. My Latifolia variegated is there. My Hushkeliana, my Finlaysonii. I'll never forget how that bloomed when I was on vacation and I never saw it. My Cumingiana is growing well. It doesn't bloom that often, but every now and then it does push a few peduncles out. And this one is my Hoya palalimba, my Bella. And you know, I had mealybugs a couple of months ago and I completely got rid of them with systemic granules. I can make a video of that if you're interested. My mom is actually trying that for mealybugs on her orchids, so we'll see how it goes. But there was like a tiny little mealybug there, and it reminded me I hadn't seen mealybugs in months, so I'm like just checking it out. Like, are they back? Are they fully gone? But I treated the collection a few months ago, and I saw that they all went away until now, so we'll see about that. Hoya parasitica is right there on the right. I have some clippings that I never repotted that I need to. Yeah, I've just been busy lately. I had more time a couple of months ago, but you just see I gotta get these all off the shelves, re-trellis them, make them a little bit more neat. Right here we have the Hoya numeroides, which bloomed. It has a wonderful fragrance. It's kind of like a cinnamony smell, cinnamony floral kind of smell. It's really nice. Someone told me I rooted it upside down and I can't unsee it, and they're right. So we'll see as it gets bigger. My Hoya Sunrise is looking good. And then this one I got as a cutting when I was in DR like 3 years ago. It was my Philodendron Burl Marks. That over there is a Patinera Hawaiian Prominence that's about to bloom. So I'll show you guys when it's open. I'll post it on Instagram. I'm excited for that. I got it from a friend. My jewel orchid bloomed. I never took it out of the shelf though. And then just in general, I really need to repot everything. My phals are flipping over. That is my amboinensis back there. Yeah, those flowers are fading. This is my Bellina. I'm going to repot all of this and I'm going to start in the next couple of weeks. So everything is kind of like overgrown, kind of overdue. It's on me. But as you can see, more Hoya blooms just falling kind of everywhere. My Trick or Treat is back there. My tallest Cattleya orchid. It had spider mites a couple of years ago, so you could see the damage, but I overcame that damage. But nothing wild here. And then, but on this shelf, I did have one in bloom that I want to show you. Though on the right, that Encyclia Cindy isn't looking too hot, and the one behind it, but I'll deal with it when I'm repotting and see if it'll make it. But let me show you this Cattleya here. It's a Richard Mueller hybrid. I'm going to take it out and put it in the front for you. But this is the Richard Mueller Bilalia flava. I've shown this a while back. It's a cross between the Laelia angerii, I believe, and the Laelia flava with the Richard Mueller. Very vigorous. This one over here, I'm going to show you towards the end, but it faded by now, but it was a very beautiful hybrid. Wait till you see it at the end. It was so beautiful. And it was on the cover of this video. My Vandas are not doing much. My Nobiles are, oh, this bottom shelf. I know it doesn't look the best, but I have to show you anyway. Zoe just eats through some of those. So what am I going to do? These are some of my Australian dendrobiums, my Kingianum, alba, regular lipstick plant that I got a couple of months ago. It's growing nicely. I have it in water. I have a lot to do. Um, this is my Sogo Vivian Leaf's Edge. This will stay in bloom for 3-4 months, no problem. Very, very pretty. Those flowers have a lot of substance, unlike G House Pink Girl, which already faded. This is my Phalaenopsis Tetraspis one. I almost forgot, but it's got keikis that are getting big on it, and I'm going to send one to a friend very soon. I'm talking to you, Paula. Okay, Sogo Relics is blooming. This is very pretty. I repotted this with you guys last fall or last spring, so it's looking good. And then in general, my phals are still blooming. The compact, not the compact, but the complex hybrids, no IDs, they look pretty good. And then back there, this is Phalaenopsis Norman's World. It's a huge Phalaenopsis, very pretty. Things have been just so busy. I haven't been able to take things out. I just really need to repot, which I'll do. I recognize that. So I'm going to get to everything in the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to start doing all of them. Now let's move on to my Cattleya shelf. This is my Cattleya phacelis. It's blooming again. It last bloomed in the end of October. And look, it's full of happy sap. I really love this one. It's a dark version of the phacelis. It just opened, very fragrant. I love it. Behind it is the Cattleya labiata with Richard Mueller. That one blooms constantly. I'm going to have to repot that one as well. And as you can see, it's like a little jungle here. Like everything's kind of stuck together. I wanted to show you because this is what it's like if you're not constantly repotting. Your collection will overgrow on you, and then you have to take action or they're going to decline. So in the next few weeks, as I said, I'm going to take care of everything. But I have a lot of sheaths. Things are looking happy despite some of my pots getting overgrown. I repotted a lot of these last year anyway. I moved them out of semi-hydro. I moved them into bark. This one was declining, and then it is coming back, giving me a ton of growths, which is encouraging. But yeah, what can you do? This is my, I wanted to show you my Cattleya Mariba Tiger. This is the cerulean version. It pushed out a really nice, big, tall growth. I was hoping to see if we see some buds in there, and I don't think it has any, but I think it's going to bloom soon. There's a lot that I'm really excited about. This one is the Awanagara Apple Blossom. It usually is a sheath within a sheath within a sheath, and then it blooms once a year for me. It's one of my most popular orchids. Here is Little Stars. It faded, but pushed out a few rogue buds again, so it's still going. It's about 3 flowers that it has now. And much of this I'll have to repot, so I'll be ordering my bark in bulk, and then I'm just going to go shelf by shelf, do it like 20 at a time, and that's how I'm going to have to do it, because one at a time in a collection of 200 just doesn't cut it, and when you're busy, you just have to power through it. This is Digbyana. I'm always looking, will you bloom? Is it going to be the next growth? We'll see. But right here, I have a couple of orchids still in semi-hydro. These are the last few I have in semi-hydro, especially here on the bottom. So I'm going to start with these, and then I'm going to work my way to everything else. And I'm moving away from semi-hydro because I've noticed that so many orchids have declined on me over time in semi-hydro. So I'm moving to bark and moss. With that said, some of these have grown outside of their pots. Some of them are touching the light. It's not ideal, but that's on me for not being on top of the collection as it's overgrowing, just being busy. But what can you do? That's the reality when you have a lot of orchids and you're very busy. But I do have some materials there, but I'm going to commit to cleaning this all up in the next couple of weeks, starting the repots, and yeah, just getting it all done. My catasetums are finally going dormant very late in the season, so we'll see. They didn't bloom this year, but it's okay. But the yellow leaves are normal. And this one's Hoya retusa. It's blooming. It had root mealybugs. I put it in some water, and it's blooming right within that cup, which is nice, but I'll have to repot that. So I'm going to overhaul everything, and you know how it goes. Anyway, guys, I wanted to show you this unregistered hybrid because it was so beautiful and it bloomed for me earlier on in the month. This lasted about 3 weeks in bloom, and this has to be my favorite orchid so far. So I just found it so beautiful. I got it when it was a very small seedling, and I've had it for about 4 years. So it was very rewarding for me to grow it. And I did not expect it to be so pretty. Now, what I really loved about it is that it's compact, it's quite small, and it has a very strong floral fragrance. It's so nice. That lip. And the thing with it is, I recorded it right when it opened, and it improved as those petals kept opening. So it opened up like this creamy color with the spots. And then when it opened up further, it just looked even nicer, even better. So like it just brightened, the flowers got flatter. The fragrance, initially it didn't have fragrance, and it got this like bubblegum floral fragrance, which was quite nice. And oh my god, I love this orchid. So far it's my favorite one for the year, one of my new blooms. And gosh, like I cannot handle it. It's so beautiful. And it was just a random, no ID hybrid that I got, not knowing what it was going to look like. I was just like, sure, that sounds nice. And I got it from my friend Ray. And I also want to show you my Hawaiian Leopard. I recorded this one. I didn't do great with recording all the blooms this month, but this one stood out. Very fragrant, just like a Cattleya fragrance, just floral. I brought it to my office, and it's so strong that I smell it as I'm working, and it's just so beautiful. I love these spotted orchids. This one has a beautiful lip. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. I have to keep it away from Zoe though, because she bit the top of one of the leaves when I left it there with the door open. So it's just very frustrating. This cat just, she ruins everything. I love her, but why does she ruin my plants? Like, these are my green pets, Zoe. Stop it. So this is just so beautiful. That lip, again, it's a Richard Mueller hybrid. So pretty. I think it's crossed with the Wine Leopard. And just look at that lip. It's big, it's spotted, it's beautiful, it's fragrant, and it blooms multiple times per year. So if you guys ever wonder why I like Richard Mueller hybrids so much, it's because they are constantly blooming. And if you have a lot of Cattleyas, you know that not all Cattleyas bloom all the time. Sometimes they bloom a couple times a year, once a year, maybe twice, but you never get stuff like this that blooms 5 times a year, even 6 times a year. So definitely give it a try. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Repot videos are coming soon. I hope you take care. Bye, everyone.